A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John, chapter 7, verses 40 to 53. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. Those in the crowd who heard these words were saying, "This has to be the prophet." Others said, "He is the Messiah." But others were saying, "The Messiah doesn't come from Galilee, does he? Don't the scriptures tell us the Messiah comes from David's line and from Bethlehem, David's village?" So there was a split in the crowd over him. Some went so far, wanting to arrest him, but no one laid a hand on him. That when the temple police reported back to the high priests and Pharisees, who demanded, "Why didn't you bring him with you?" The police answered, "Have you heard the way he talks? We never heard someone speak like this man." The Pharisees said, "Are you carried away like the rest of the rabble? You don't see any of the leaders believing in him, don't you? Or any from the Pharisees? It's only this crowd, ignorant of God's law, that is taken in by him and damned." Nicodemus, the man who had come to Jesus earlier and was both a ruler and a Pharisee, spoke up. "Does our law decide about a man's guilt without first listening to him and finding out what he is doing?" But they cut him off. "Are you also campaigning for the Galileans? Examine the evidence. See if any prophet ever comes from Galilee." Then they all went home. The Gospel of the Lord.
Good morning. I am Father Joseph Matthew, and this is Coffee with God. Let us now listen to a short reflection on the Holy Gospel according to St. John, chapter 7, verses 40 to 53. He draws close whomever he loves. In today's Gospel, we see a divided crowd. Some believe Jesus is the prophet or the Christ. Others reject him because he doesn't fit their expectations. The religious leaders dismiss him with arrogance, convinced they alone understand God's ways. They scorn the ordinary people as ignorant. However, the truth of God's love cannot be constrained by human pride. Jesus' embrace of sinners, his acceptance of the marginalized, and his mighty signs and acts, particularly raising Lazarus, posed a threat to the ruling class authority. They had monopolized access to God. But Jesus shattered that control. He demonstrated that God's love extends to everyone, not just the elite. However, the more they attempted to stifle him, the more followers he attracted. Jesus acts as a magnet, drawing to him everyone he loves, and his love encompasses us all. Even the temple guards sent to arrest him were captivated by his words. Nicodemus, once afraid to be seen with Jesus, now begins to step into the light. Later, we will see him stand at the foot of the cross to care for Jesus' body. The courage to follow Christ grows in those who open their hearts to him. This drama continues even today, as those in authority often disregard or target believers. However, history demonstrates that dictators eventually collapse and empires decline. Ultimately, it is only Christ and his church that endure, providing life to the world. Today, Jesus invites us to live in truth, not as know-it-alls, nor as judges of others, but as people close to His heart. Are we humble enough to say, I don't know, and allow God to teach us? Are we prepared to stop judging and start loving?